Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Kansas City, Kansas Community College Blue Devils Weekly Baseball Report, second edition. Good evening to everyone, and welcome to this week in review of last week's baseball by the Blue Devils and a look at the coming series that they have coming up, Thailand. First thing I'd like to take a look at is the record so far. Overall, they are 12-5 after 17 games, but only 4 conference games. But after those 4 conference games, they are 4-0 and tied actually with Fort Scott, who swept Highland this past week, to be tied with the Blue Devils, who swept Labette Community College. So we'll take a look at those games of being 4-0. The first game, they won 11-1 in 5 innings. The second game, they won 7-5. The first game on Saturday, they won 2-1 in 7. And then in 9 innings, they won the final game 7-6. We will take a look at each one of those. We'll take a look at each one of those games with a little bit of the information. But first, let's hit a little bit of a commercial here for those of you that might be interested in donating or sponsoring or having a banner out on the outfield fence. We'll be right back. This is Jay Forsler coming to you from the 4T's Dugout Studio. We're excited to announce Kansas City, Kansas Blue Devils Baseball and 4Ts.com are teaming up to bring you Blue Devils Baseball this spring. If you're a business who wants to put your brand in front of thousands of people with a banner on the outfield fence or stadium entry area, we have an option for you. If you're a Blue Devil alumni who wants to give back to the program, we have an option for you. If you're a parent or grandparent just wanting to help financially, we have an option for you. Check out the 2 brochures attached for options. Even if you can't help financially, join us at www.4ts.com for all the Blue Devils action this spring. All right, if anyone is interested in contacting me about having a banner or sponsoring an inning, or also the possibility of just making a donation, if you would send me an email at the email you see there on the screen, j4sler@4ts.com, and I will email you that information. Let's take a look at each of the games. The first game, the Blue Devils won 11-1 in 5 innings. The starting pitcher for that game was Orlando Ortiz, and he pitched all 5 innings of that game to get that win. He had 6 strikeouts, gave up 1 run in the 5 innings of work with 1 earned run, did not give up a home run. Trace Harder in that game, Trace Harder, Kevin Santiago, and Tyler Henry all had doubles. Jose Sosa had a triple. RBI with 11 that game. Trace had 2. Eric Kinestrosa had 1. Jose Sosa, JT Goodfellow, Kevin Santiago, Kemper Bednar, Caleb Morrison, Eduardo Acosta had 3. A sac fly by Kevin Santiago, and a couple of stolen bases, 1 by Trace Harder, 2 by Eric Kinestrosa, 1 by JT Goodfellow, and 1 by Kemper Bednar. That's kind of rounds out the action from the first game. So moving on to the second game. The second game, the Blue Devils won 7-5. Starting pitcher in that game was Carlos Soto. Carlos pitched 6 innings, gave up 6 hits, 4 runs, 2 base on balls, 5 strikeouts, and a home run. Max Storch pitched an inning. Xavier Morin pitched, and the save went to Jose Amaro, his second on the season. See if I can get to my picture of Jose here. Jose had the save. Actually, he's going to have a save in another game as well. So we'll take a look at the third game on Saturday, Game 3. The Blue Devils won it 2-1. That was at home. And in that game, Osvaldo Mendez went 6 innings, gave up 8 hits, just 1 run, 1 earned run, 1 base on balls, 4 strikeouts. And again, Jose Amaro with the save. But let's get a picture here. Take a look at Mendez. And in Game 3, Kevin Santiago, Kevin had an RBI as well as Eduardo Acosta. Stolen base by Hinestroza. And that game was won 2-1 by the Blue Devils. So we move on to Game 4. Game 4, the Blue Devils won it 7-6. That game was started by Victor Gote. Victor was not part of the win or loss of that. Actually, the game was won by Hunter Paxton. Hunter went 1 2/3 innings, gave up 3 hits, 2 earned runs, had 2 strikeouts. Gote went 4 1/3 innings, gave up 2 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned runs, 6 base on balls, gave up no home runs but had 5 strikes. And then Jose Amaro again with the save. For him to have 4 on the season. Eric Hinestroza offensively had a double, as well as Harder, Santiago, and Bednar. RBI by Harder, Santiago, and Bednar. But Hinestroza had 2 hits in the game, although he did not have an RBI. And that's kind of a recap look at this past week for the 4-0 start in conference play. That brings me to the conference standings. Fort Scott is 4-0. As I mentioned earlier, they swept 4 from Highland. Your Blue Devils also went 4-0. They took 4 from Labette. Then around the rest of the conference, Cali went 3-1. Allen County went 3-1. That left Neosho County 1-3 and Coffeyville 1-3. Johnson County without a game yet, with the odd number of teams on the east side this year. On the west side, Barton went 4-0. Cloud County 3-1. Seward County 3-1. Butler 2-2, Hutchison 2-2, Pratt 1-3, Colby 1-3, Dodge City yet to play a game, in Garden City 0-4. So on the east side, your Blue Devils have taken a sweep that first week, as well as Fort Scott, so they're tied for first place in the conference. Take a look at some of the conference stats. In batting average for the conference, Kansas City, Kansas is second. The Blue Devils are second in average to Fort Scott Community College. Fort Scott has a .366 average, team average. Your Blue Devils has a 345 average, and then Barton is next with 315. As I mentioned, Johnson County yet to play a game on this side with the odd number of teams that are playing. So we take a look at what we can expect. Friday, the games have been moved from Thursday and Saturday to Friday and Sunday. Let me take a check here, but I believe that those are still 1 and 3. Yes, at home on Friday, 1 and 3. And then at Highland, the game is at Benedictine College at 1 and 3 on Sunday. We will bring you live stream on Friday. What we're going to have on Sunday, not sure yet. Going to try and look into that, see if anyone is going to stream that or announce that. If they do, you can watch for that to be on Twitter and take a look at that. Once again, I appreciate those of you that check this broadcast out tonight. It's short. I will continue to probably keep it short. I appreciate those of you that listen. Hope that you will give us a listen on Friday at 1 and 3 approximately, as the Blue Devils will take on the Highland Scotties for their second conference series that will be coming up. Once again, this is Jay Forsler coming to you. I appreciate you checking us out tonight. If you're interested in sponsoring or making a donation, send me an email, and I'll run that email across the screen there one more time. Again, thanks for listening. We'll bring the live stream to you on Friday. Until then, have a nice evening. Good night.